What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Odin. Odin the Great, Odin the Wise, Odin the Rapl. Yes, it is the Rapl here, playing in the bottom of the map. His opponent today in the top side of the map, playing in the blue color, he is playing the god Oranos. His name is Kvoth. A bit of a strange one. Not seeing any of that Guilelash around Kvoth's town center here is always a little bit of a strange sight. But we'll see how this is all going to go. This is the main bracket stage for the competitive mega random tournament. First of its kind. We might see more of them. It might just become more of a regular staple map in tournaments. Don't really know. But it's a time to be alive nonetheless. And there's $1,000 prize pool up for grabs here. So these guys are going to have to duke it out and see who can move on to the next stage of this single elimination bracket. At this stage of the tournament, these players have had their chance in the early stages to lose a game. So Kvoth has indeed lost one game. I believe he lost against Joe, and Rapl is currently undefeated. So Rapple's going to have a lot of confidence going into this game, not having been touched pretty much at all thus far. I think he's taken out someone fairly strong as well along his in his group, so he's going to definitely have a lot of confidence coming into this one. Not only that, he's taken out Chrono JJ, if I recall correctly, which is no easy feat at all. Anyways, enough of that to be had said. We'll see how this game's going to go. It's Odin versus Oranos, and we have seen a lot of this matchup, but a bit of an interesting map here. We've got some decent elk over here. We've got some deer over here as well, a handful of boar. So it's looking like a fairly high hunt. Well, I've got a ton of aurochs here, so a very, very high hunt map. And Rapl has decided to great hunt his home boars here, so he's going to have a lot here in order to kind of just enjoy that in the early stages of the game. So if we talk a little bit about strategy here for Odin players have been doing this thing for quite some time now. I believe Mr. innovated it somewhat, where they go double longhouse, Ulfsark, with the idea of getting medium infantry, lone wanderer, and being able to carve through the Terma army of an Oranos player. Oranos players are starting to get a little bit more savvy about this, and they're starting to realize that if they build Terma against mass Ulfsark, it kind of doesn't work. So we see Oranos players going somewhere between 3 and 6 Terma at the start of the game, and then just not building any more, just going into mass Mermillo after that, or going into Caraballister instead. So these things all have their own weaknesses. So if you do go to mass Mermillo, your opponent can make and can be pretty happy to make some throwing axemen, start mixing those in. If you go for Caraballister, your opponent's going to start making raiding cavalry and attempt to catch you out around the map, and things start being a lot more about positioning and that type of thing. Now, the more and more I watch this matchup, the more and more I see the Oranos players having a very, very crucial timing to be able to take down the kind of meta standard gameplay of an Odin player. And that takedown is normally a sort of fight around about the 10-minute mark, 10-minute 30-second mark on one of these gold mines around the base. So it's going to be incredibly important for Kvoth to keep an eye on those gold mines. This is something that I don't think we've talked about very much, but it's that scouting element. You find where the 3 gold mines are, or the 4 gold mines, or whatever it is, and you've got to position your oracles in a way, out of the way, in a way that you can have a fairly decent scout of those gold mines. So when your opponent does move to them, you can take them. If there are any decent relics, like a Pegasus relic, you should grab that one and use those as well. But we've got the 2 Tharoids up here, plus 5% Archer Ballister, Caraballister damage there, as we are seeing Rapl hitting the classical age through Freya. No real surprises there, as we also see Kvoth going up through Prometheus as his Herser and Ulfsark are on the way forward. The Ravens scouting around here. They will be spotting this, maybe just missing this hunt here, as Kvoth is kind of getting away with not a lot here, because he's completely safe over there under that manor, but Rapl's going to be a little bit upset that he can't get that early game damage down, and Kvoth going to be pretty happy about that one there, as the Ulfsark going to be splitting off Maybe looking up here, maybe not. There is always the chance that Kvoth is just eating cows or berries right now, which is actually a fairly standard-ish play for the Oranos against the Odins in the early stages of the game before they get some units out. Something that can be done to kind of minimize the damage that they take. So now we're going to be seeing Rapl moving forward. Going to try and grab some of these elk over here, some of these boar down the bottom side of the map here. As now we do see the Raven has spotted the villagers in the left side of this map, eating this hunt. And we'll see how that's all going to go here. As now we do have a cheeky Valor onto this location right now. Got the double Murmillo, we've got the Terma here, and Rapl going to be retreating away. Another relic has been found over here, the Anvil for Feisters, an incredibly strong relic here as we are seeing more units coming out, and Rapl is going for something a little bit strange here. He's not going for the old Sark. He's just says, I'm going to go for something completely different here. Going for raiding cavalry, Herser into throwing axemen. This is a really, really ballsy play here from Rapl. Very, very different to what everyone else does. And Rapl right now, he's got the kind of military advantage by just a little bit, sitting at 59 population. Kvoth's at 55 population, but I'm sure that will be about to start skyrocketing as this game goes on. Kvoth is always the kind of pragmatist in a way with his Atlantean, always saying, I'd rather not take the risk and go for this safe berries than be out here trying to fight for boar that I'm fairly sure I can't get. And that's his kind of game plan. Going for some raids now, looking for the wood over here to hit this location here. Rapl will spot this one as he's going to be pulling back fairly quickly there. Not going to be losing any villagers as the ox cart going to be moving back into his base. A little bit of lag here. I'm not sure exactly what's happening. Hopefully it sort of sorts itself out. As now Kvoth moving over onto this location. Rapl gonna have to potentially retreat those dwarfs. No, decides against it there as Rapl just gonna pause this one. We weren't having any lag pre-game, and now we're having a little bit here. He says, is it me? The answer is yes. If it was me, I would see a shield on Kvoth or Rapl. Another way you can check this one out is by going into the lobby and saying /ping. But it seems like it's settled down now. Yeah, it has settled down. This is just something that happens in the stuff. With this game, it's because we're not playing a modern game. That's just how it is. Alright, onwards and upwards. Continuing along as if nothing has happened. When nothing really has happened. Kvoth playing very defensively in this early stages of the game, trying to get up to his full population here. He hasn't transitioned away from those Terma just yet, still building those. And Rapl here, maybe going to want to have chosen to go with Ulfsark at this point, because I mean he's just basically mass units here, mass raiding cavalry, throwing axemen. It's going to be a tough one for him to win a fight, because one of the big weaknesses of this army that Rapl's constructing here is Shockwave. Shockwave going to hit those throwing axemen in a big way, and Kvoth's going to put some serious damage onto the field here. Now Kvoth moving across the map, going to be attempting to pick off the hunt villagers over here who have now finished off their boars, moving over to the very side of the map here and still leaving his army on top of this hunt, which is very, very smart for Rapl, playing really, really defensively. We are seeing another longhouse coming down, medium cavalry coming in as well as the raiders retreating back here. Well. Now Rapl wondering over here going to look to try and surround these units here. He does get a very, very nice couple of hits off as this fight's starting. Kvoth does hit the shockwave button there as he doesn't want to lose too many units and gets out of there, but not going to be happy about that shockwave. You definitely need that one to get anything done here. It's 260 seconds for that second shockwave to come back here, as we are seeing the raiding cavalry trying to get around the back of those Terma here, as they are going to be retreating away best they can. You can see a forest fire here could be a way to go just to get a little bit extra damage done, but Rapl does choose not to do that as he's going to be pulling back for the time being here. I see you red again. He wants to switch his net. I don't even know what that means, but I guess we're going to back out and just see what's going on.
Yes.
Alrighty, we're back and on the move here as we are seeing a cheeky raid now coming in by Kvoth. He's coming in on the back side here. We haven't seen Rapl noticing it just yet. He's moving his army away at just the wrong time. He does react. He's going to lose a villager here, I think. Nice little forest fire coming in to try and push these units back. We see a couple of villagers getting taken out. Rapl losing another one. Going to be losing his ox cart as well here as a handful of units do fall behind. So Rappel's going to have to send out an ox cart. He does train one now, sending that over there very, very shortly. Now making a bit of a fight in the middle of the map. Going to be taking a good amount of kills here. So Rapl does lose a couple of villagers, does a decent amount of damage to Kvoth, but I mean, are those villager kills going to matter or not as a ox cart is making its way over here? Has Rapl started villagers again? Yes, he has, chasing these units down as well. Kvoth's now got himself medium raiders. He's at 114 of 115 population here. Rapl is at 449. Well, he's at 108 population, nearly 500 gold. He will be able to advance perfectly to the heroic age. Does he have an armory? No armory just yet. He's going to be throwing that down as fast as he can. But Rapl will be able to advance to the heroic age here before needing to go to the second gold mine. This is a really, really key part of Norse strategy against Atlantean is getting to that portion of the game. As we see Rapl throwing this armory up, it might be worth it for Rapl to actually just pull back into his base and just wait for Frost, because he's gonna have a little bit of a difficult time here. He does have enough throwing axemen here to push Kvoth back. Kvoth really doesn't have the Terma to deal with those throwing axemen that Rapl has made here. So, funnily enough, the kind of new meta of Oranos getting countered by the almost old style of what Rappel's got here. Skadi on the way. We do see, where are they seeing those dwarves moving right over onto this location here, it seems, as a handful of units up on this spot here as Kvoth trying to push in. Kvoth looking to go to the next age himself. He is going through Hyperion here, which I do like. A big heroic age kind of timing here would be a really, really good idea, following up with a really, really fast mythic age. With all the hunt on the map here for Kvoth, he's going to be able to get there and have a fun time with that if he can get there fast enough. So that's going to be everything, as we are now seeing Kvoth trying to take this fight. Skadi is just about to hit here as Rapl is continuing to pull back and forth, and we do see an immediate frost onto this location. It makes so much sense here for Rapl. He's going to be trying to pick off every single one of these units, throwing up some walls around the sides here, spreading his units out nicely to get those up. The thing is, with the Atlantean army, you do need to have a full surround on this, because the units have got the best pathfinding in the game, so they can just sneak right through here a lot of the time. But it does look like Rapl will get the majority of these walls set up in time, and Kvoth going to be hurting just a little bit here, as we will be seeing Chaos getting dropped down onto this position. Unlucky there for Kvoth, hitting the Valkyrie instead of the Frost Giant, but that's the way the cookie crumbles in this kind of situation here, as we will be seeing those units attempting to retreat out. And like I said, if you don't get that full wall off, what was the point of the rest of them? And a whole bunch of those units of Kvoth's do manage to get away here. Rappel's going to be shaking his head just a little bit about that one, as Kvoth has got tons of food in the bank, should be getting his gold up. A market very soon will make a lot of sense here for Kvoth to hit the next age, as we are seeing Rapl throwing down his second town center, which is also very standard here, wanting to get those villagers out in order to in order to get a decent kind of Mythic Age Ragnarok idea here. So we see heavy infantry coming through for Kvoth. We see the units getting pulled off here as one throwing axeman getting left here. The raiding cavalry are getting pulled back into this fight as we're going to be seeing the Frost Giant getting taken down very, very fast. It does seem like Rapl is a little bit too strong here as the heavy infantry actually looks like it gets cancelled by Kvoth as Kvoth hitting Hecate incredibly early. I've talked about this, and this is incredibly really important for the Oranos player to get good value out of their Tartarian gate, and Kvoth is going for it here as he's pulling back, but he's lost a lot of units, and I really would have liked to have seen, instead of losing all of these units, for him to have had heavy infantry or something like that out at this point, so that he could also throw down a palace now and start going into straight into fanatics, because that's what is the most important here. As Rapl is now going to be clicking up through Balder. This is a Tartarian gate that potentially is only going to be getting about 40 seconds worth of value, because then immediately after that, Rapl is going to be clicking himself Ragnarok, and Kvoth is going to have to figure out a way to defend this, as we are seeing those villagers retreating into their houses. How many resources in the bank for Kvoth? Not the most. We're starting to see a couple of citizen falling, just one thus far, but citizen falling nonetheless, and right now, Kvoth can't afford to be losing anything. Rapl's at 40 villages right now, pumping those out. Rapl does have a market up. It's pretty close to his town center, so a trade route starting here won't be that helpful. But right now, Rapl's trying to get out as many units as he possibly can, getting himself medium infantry and copper weapons. Now, is there a unit ready to drop a Tartarian gate down? Because that's going to be the most important thing to do straight away here, as we see the units almost diving in. He does decide to Tartarian gate that market, as the villagers are simply just going to be retreating away from this location. Do we see palaces getting set up? There's the first palace coming down for Kvoth, as he has to realize that Ragnarok is coming for him right now, as Balder just about to hit. We see the villagers trying to get a little bit of a little bit of damage done here, as these Tartarian spawns should actually be able to take down this town center, maybe. But in the end here, it doesn't seem like this is getting enough damage here, as Rapl does hit the Mythic Age, does click the Ragnarok. Ragnarok coming through 210 population to Kvoth's 115 here. We're starting to see some medium Murmillo getting in onto this one, and this Tartarian gate is going to get taken down incredibly fast right now with the help of those heroes of Ragnarok. But this does give Kvoth a little bit of time to start producing himself some fanatics here. We do need to see Kvoth pulling back right now as the units, as the raiding cavalry coming in onto this position. We've got ourselves citizen all over the map. No, we do not. A stray Lampedi over here. Probably going to be wanting to try and use that on the Fire Giant. We're starting to see some units coming through here. Kvoth wanting to take a bit of a fight, nice and far out of his base, as that Fire Giant coming through. We do see a Shockwave kind of being forced over here as one medium fanatic coming through. Heavy infantry coming in for Kvoth. Kvoth isn't on his hunt, or he's on his hunt right in the middle of the map. We don't see many farms. We do see a palace up in his main base with the watchtowers here, as we see the chaos getting dropped in onto this location. He's hitting that Fire Giant. Very lucky not to hit that Raven, to be honest. It's actually a little cheeky maneuver that Odin players can do against Hyperion, is have the Raven in their army as a bit of a bait there. But Kvoth definitely going to be happy about dealing with that Fire Giant here, as the army is now starting to move forward. Stray Citizen have been caught out here. They can jump into the mat. They can't jump into the mana. Kvoth too slow right now, almost losing two citizen here, as this citizen hero is going to be attempting to make a break for it into that mana, but it doesn't look like Rapl is going to be allowing that one, picking that citizen off. Rapl's now moving in onto this palace here. We do see double palace set up. The fanatics attempting to get produced as fast as Kvoth possibly can, as the citizen are moving back into the base here for Kvoth, but he does not have his farms set up here. He doesn't have the resources for them, so one palace going to be going down. The Arcus going to be going down, as well as those fanatics doing the best they possibly can, but Kvoth is now 0 resources. And he's going to be losing his second pallets, losing his gold. Rapl is at 145 population, plenty of units remaining here. Where's the market set up? We do have a market in the base here, so we'll see if Kvoth's going to use that, and Kvoth does decide in that moment to tap out here. GG, well played by Rapl. I do actually think that Kvoth's strategy here was the most correct strategy to use. I feel like he should have been able to hit the mythic age significantly earlier than 1449. I'm feeling like 13 minutes or 13:30 is your aim here with one town center Oranos against the one town center Odin, but especially an Odin that wasn't building Old Sark. But for some reason, Kvoth a little bit behind the 8-ball here with that one. Didn't get enough value out of his Tartarian gate, and therefore Rapl gets the big dub here. Maybe just like not enough fights being forced in the early game here for Kvoth, because given that Rapl is able to hit his grab his second gold mine while he's going Scardy, that just means you're never going to get that gold star, never going to get that damage done in the heroic age. So you're just behind the 8-ball in a big way here. So GG, well played by Rapl, getting that first win. We'll move on to game number 2 very, very shortly here, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.